How's it going, dude? What's going on? Hey, you too. How's your week going so far, man? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Tattooed. Oh, tattooed monkey. Is that right? I got it. Okay. How's it going, dude? Man, I've been jamming a bunch of P1 lately. That's not a P1 riff, is it? Yeah, it's 97 here, so I'm just trying to stay alive and learning some cool shit. Let's go. Hey, what's up, Shimmer? How you doing? Dude, Light from P1 is an all-timer for me. It is such a good song, dude. I forgot how many songs on that record that I love so deeply. You know, like I pulled it up yesterday. Honestly, I started going down like a rabbit hole of downloading tabs, which is something I haven't done in a long time. I was like, you know what? I started looking for some like Nuno stuff to practice. I'm not good enough to play that. And then I started going through my library of like, what did I used to like? What songs did I look up before to try to learn? And I downloaded a bunch of them. And by the time I came to P1, I just ended up just hanging out and listening to the record. And dude, I'm obsessed. Hold on one sec. I'll be right back. I gotta let the cat out. I closed the door. Willow was hanging out on the couch, but she's got to get out. One sec. Go on. I opened the door. You want to leave now, right? Come on. Okay. Later. Jake's Electronica Interlude After Light was such a hugely influential thing for me. I used to listen to that one on loop. Dude, same. His interludes. Remember Jake's interludes? Man, I don't know that I clocked them in any of their latest records. Like on P3, they had some like orchestral interludes. So I don't know. It didn't sound like Jake's handiwork. You know, like P1 and P2, they were clear like Jake tracks. And I missed that. Man, they were such a killer band in those first three records. And I like their fourth record too. And Juggernaut's pretty sick. Paul Osborne, how's it going, dude? How's it going? Goat talking about my favorite band. Oh, high praise. Reminds me of Ape Escape on PS1, and the time station theme was huge for me when I was little. I never played Ape Escape on PS1. I saw it on the PlayStation Store, and it looks like a good time. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get started here. I have a few riff ideas, and I'm just gonna start tracking them in. One of them I'm definitely gonna be figuring out on the spot. What you're running for the tone? So, I'm glad you asked. Right now, I'm using the 2010s Djent riff preset with Archetype Nolly. Let me put it in the screen there for you. So I'm running the 2010s Djent riff preset made by my boy Nick. And on the DI, I'm trying out the all-new Ackle's own Shut Up EMF gate. EMF, is that what it is? EF, I forget what it's. Gets rid of the noise in your pickups, and I love that. Dude, I've been wanting a tool like this for ages. I'm just running the demo for now, and I'm super impressed. Even cranking it all the way up. You can kind of hear the point where it's affecting the tone just a tiny bit. Only when it's quiet, though. Like when, check it out, like. It's barely noticeable, though. Like maybe. That's amazing. That's crazy. Yeah, I really want this one. I got the demo, so maybe at the end of it I'll buy it because I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, so I got Nolly X, got Shut Up on the DI, but also I'm running DI match with one of the stock presets, Aftermath Bridge. So for the full P1 experience, we are matching bare knuckle aftermaths, which it's only like a slight change, I think. And these are already like periphery pickups. These are Mark Holcomb's Alpha and Omegas. So I was pretty close already, but I just wanted to give it that extra kind of 2 to 3K DI bump. Bridge pickup still wonky? No, it's not, and I couldn't figure out what was actually wrong with it, dude. I unscrewed it. I unscrewed the back plate. I was like, all right, let's see what's going on. I like left it plugged in and just messed with a few things, and it's like unscrewing it, it just decided to work perfectly normal. So I don't know, maybe like I'm not going to touch it now because it's just working. It seems to be inside the actual switch unit, wherever that is. But we have a bridge pickup today, folks. Rankwill, how's it going, dude? No, you are not so late. I am so late. I'm starting like way later than I planned on. Thank you guys for coming to hang out this late in the day. I hope it's not too late for some of you guys. Oh, I forgot about the... Oh, wow, I forgot about the JST tone match, lol. Need to give it another shot. Dude, it is just like... It's an invaluable tool. Like, it's not even really... I don't even think of it like a... I don't think it's a particularly impressive tool. It's just that it's exactly what you're looking for with tools that are specifically made for guitar DIs. It's just really nice. You could do the same thing with Pro Q4, but this makes more sense for guitar DIs. Big fan. Love the brown finish on the guitar. Thank you. I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with this guitar. All right. Let's get going. Feeling yappy today. Let's actually make some riffs. So... Is that right? I think I want like, let me try 100. Yeah, it's a little fast actually. I think like 97 I'll probably end up landing. Cool. I like that. That's good enough for a scratch take. Let's move right along with this. Today for drums, we were rocking Modern and Massive 2. This is another homie's preset. I'm using Chris Badan's Modern Massive 2 preset from his Patreon. I love that dude. Shout out Chris Badan. What a homie. All right. I think I'll do kick and snare separate. Something like that. Are you multi-out or stereo? Dude, I'm sort of stereo on this one. So this preset has a pair of extra outputs to it. So the entire kit, all the Modern Massive sounds are coming out of this one stereo channel. But Chris does something where he'll add an extra pair of outputs just for the kick and snare trigger. So I have the whole kit coming out of here, just the snare trigger, and then kick trigger. So that's the setup. It's basically not routed out, which I only really feel comfortable staying in the plugin with Martin and Massive 2 or like Superior Drummer. Anything Contact, man, I'm like, the environment is just too limiting, and I end up trying to use the same solid EQ to try to get the sounds the way I want, and I'm like, not really it. Anyway, I like staying in the plugin, dude. It's nice. All right. Cool. That's something. There's MIDI notes in there. Still not like 100% comfortable playing cymbals in. Sometimes I'll watch people producing where they'll hit all the little accent symbols in one go, and I'm like, man, I have not learned a single kit well enough to like play it like that on some chimp spanner type shit. Let's see, these will be our friend the China. Where's it? Let's go crash left there. I'm going to fix all these velocities later because this keyboard, however I'm playing with this keyboard, is just diming all the velocities. Not it. Not very human. There's not very cash money of me. Oh. That was kind of cool though. Pedal hit. Maybe I'll swap that for like an open. Shimmer. I remember a really old video of Chimp Spanner doing that too. Same. Dude, there's one video of him playing a take and it just sounds like a drummer. I'm like, insane. Absolute madman. I got to stop in and check out one of his streams because I know he streams. I would love to see him at work. Okay, this is going to do it. So I think I want a fill in between this where it just kind of cuts out. Like that. Let's see what we got. Maybe like kick tom. This type of thing. Then like an open hat before it too would be kind of cool. Are you doing this all through IEMs or through studio monitors? Man, I'm going all IEMs lately. Every time I've streamed or filmed, I just love it, man. I like not having to worry about how loud I am, because my studio shares a wall, and that's super lame. And I also kind of like the consistency of the stereo image when I'm moving around. It feels super immersive. Like anytime I get up to use the Moog back there, I'm like, it feels like there's nothing between me and the ridiculously loud music I'm listening to and making. Maybe like a splash here would be cool. Yeah, I see you, splash. Oh, that's on the upbeat. That's why it sounds weird. Need another crash on this. Maybe this is a crash instead of a China. Might actually switch that China out for a maybe crash right. That'd be kind of cool. And then put this on the splash. Yeah. Something like that. Like a floor tom snare flam type of situation. Okay. I've got some good demo drums, and I got a good scratch take. Let's take a listen to it. And I had another riff idea. I think I'm going to go horizontal before going vertical, because I think I have 3 riffs to put down, and I just want to get it right. I'm going to be playing real bass today, by the way. I dialed in a pretty cool gnarly sounding tone. That's going to be a good time. That's going to be kind of weird, and I'm going to lose my place. Let's try it. I don't know what the turnaround's going to be yet, but that's the shape of it. So hot take on my part, but I feel like only mixing on studio monitors makes it really hard to make the songs super immersive. Okay. First off, you definitely don't suck. I've heard your shit. I've heard your songs, dude. Whatever you're doing is hitting hard as fuck. Man, depends on the monitors. There's so many variables with, just saying mixing on studio monitors is like, it doesn't really tell you anything about the environment. You could have like a perfectly tuned room and like a shitty set of speakers that you're not unfamiliar with, and it could give you bad results. You could have really cheap, shitty speakers in a shitty room, but you know it really well, so you're able to like sort of get what you need out of it. Yeah, it's tough, man. Especially like, I don't know, lifestyle wise, if you ever move apartment and you just take all your gear with you, you're setting up in a new room, and it's kind of like setting yourself up with a new pair of ears. You have to like listen to all of the music you're familiar with again to just get acclimated with the new room, and then deal with treatment and all that. There's so many factors. I'm really grateful to have like a pretty nice apartment studio here, as well as like just headphones and in-ears that I trust. Because man, it's you just gotta be able to trust your ears, The fitness gram pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity. Thanks, Reaper. Okay, I think I know what the second half is. Okay. That's a super good point. My room isn't treated whatsoever. I'm sure the monitors aren't angled right and whatnot, Lol. Thank you for the kind words, but I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, there's the angle, the speakers, the placement, and everything. There's so many factors. Whatever you're doing is working. Whatever you're doing is hitting hard. I'm just now starting to learn how to mix, to finally start releasing some riffs from the vault. Started on DT990 Pro X's. I've heard great things. Is that a good place to start mixing, or am I cooked? Man, if you don't have a perfectly tuned room with Augsburgers as the mains, Barefoots as the minis, and a single Oratone in the middle, then you're just cooked. There's no real way around it. Yeah, unfortunately. No, that's a great place to start. That's as knowing those headphones is really useful for you. Like the first real problem is having a source that represents the low end properly so you can actually work with it. You might find yourself like checking on a different source and hearing the low end represented so different than what you thought, and having to go back and have like some trial and error as a result. But man, just getting familiar with those that's your best move in your position, you know, just like, I think, I forget who said it, but someone asked, what's the best set of speakers to get? Or like, what are the best speakers available? And the answer that someone gave, some sick engineer said, your speakers are the best speakers. Just learn them. Get good, basically. Thank you, man. Grateful have gone sound half as good as Augsburgers, not even hungry. Nice, Battle Lux. Nice. That sounds like a Chris Bedan thing. Dude, I'm sure if you asked him, he'd say probably like the same thing, you know. I just think it's true, you know. Whatever you know best is the best set of speakers. What the hell am I trying to do here? Yeah. Ah, shit. Not sure about that turnaround quite yet. Like this part right here. Maybe like... Oh, and then don't anticipate at the turnaround. So it would sound like this. Okay. This sounds more like a bulb riff than Periphery 1 riff. What's the difference? Type shit. that type of thing. Man, I don't even know if I'll be able to play this drum part. I think I'm just going to go in on programming it real quick. Flubbed the end of it big time, but we're writing. We're making shit up on the spot. We out here. Okay, let's put some cymbals in this. And do like this type of pattern. Open, I think I'll do like this maybe. So like, whoops. Opposite velocities to that, so it goes like to cut. Yeah, that's kind of what I want, with like fun cymbals here and there. Without this, because that makes no sense. This might be the kind of idea. This might be like one of those ridiculous bulb riffs where they're like little sections of it where there's just blast beats for a couple beats and then it goes back to normal, like and then like, yeah, I can actually see it. And then it goes back right there. So God, this looks awful, this MIDI. We're going to make that sound human, I promise. Like this kind of thing. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, I'm editing over the chat right now. Gotta be careful, folks. You can't see what's going on. Is that a Mark Holcomb PRS I see? It is. This is the SE Walnut Top 7-string. Love this thing, man. That'll do for now. Maybe like a crash. Yeah, we're gonna make this ridiculous. Maybe like a splash choke. Is there a splash choke in this kit? This is Martin Massive 2. They've got splash chokes here, right? There's no. Oh, there it is. Yeah. That's stupid, and I'm probably gonna change it after, but Oh, maybe the upbeat changes in the second half of this riff. Does that suck? Let's find out. If I end it in a fill, I think that can work. Pretend I played that well. That's killing me. Getting some static in my left ear. Do you guys hear that? I think it's coming from the DAW. All right, which one of you is putting static in my friend's ears? Not cool. I don't understand. Looks like it's coming from a plugin. That's so weird. That's inside the DAW. The call is coming from inside Logic. What the heck is going on here? That's so annoying. Sorry about that noise, guys. I've never had that happen before in my life. And I still kind of don't know where it's coming from. Ah, it's one of these. Something in my master chain. I think. No, it's not. Master chain is just turning it up. That super sucks. It is, yeah, like I'm seeing the over here on the meter. That's so annoying. I fixed it. It was some of these tracks I have sitting around with input set up. Anyway. Here, and I'll just retract that last bit for the scratch. That'll be it. I can do better. Yeah, that's cool. Then second time, half time. I'll deal with the fill after. Me to Phil, I'll deal with you later. like where this is going, guys. This is cool. The first half of that sounded like something. The second half of that sounded like nothing. Meant to put those two together. That's good. That snare's just in the wrong place. No, it's not. That's not a snare. Damn, I am tripping, bro. What the heck? I'm seeing notes that aren't there. God damn. I gotta get more sleep, brother. Okay. Okay, I can put these two together. What amp simp are you using, if you don't mind me asking? Pedia, if that's how I say your name. Sorry if I messed that up. I'm using Nolly X with the all-new 4D Audio Shut Up demo. Trying it out. I really like it so far. And DI match with an Aftermath bridge pickup. So the goal here is 2010's Djent. I'm using Nick's 2010's Djent preset in Archetype Nolly, and I think I've got it pretty tight. Perfect. Really? Man, I'm thinking about getting a smaller keyboard. I have a 61 key. You kind of can't see it, but a 61 key, and it's actually too much. I never thought that that would be the case. I kind of wish I had something with the absolute smallest footprint possible without being a mini keyboard. That would go crazy. Any recommendations? Let me know what keyboard you use, if you like it, and if it's like a 49 key that's not like mini. Because I might be in the market, dude. I'm kind of tired of having, trying to downsize a little bit, you know? It's the future. We don't need all this. Okay. Okay, there are my cymbals. Need more click in my ears. Maybe that's good. Good enough. It's good enough for a demo. Accidentally moved to the upbeat. Not good enough for a demo. You go here and here. And what's this? Ride crash. I'll add in like a few little accenty guys. Yeah. And then maybe China's for that fill. Could be cool. Could be cool. Da, 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 da. Okay. Nice. We have 2 riffs. And I like them. I kind of like these riffs. I'm excited for it to sound better once there's bass, but this is nice. The next riff, I kind of want to do some big chords. Either big chords or just like really lush octave chords, you know, like yes, that's the vibe. So like a I think I'll start by copying the drums over since I want it to kind of be a similarly open vibe. Let's see. Just changing the symbol. Here. Oh, maybe it goes halftime as fuck, like this. No. Now that's pretty cool. And then halfway through, goes faster again. So like. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know what the rhythm's gonna be though. I want it to be like kind of a call and response between. Man, that's something I noticed on Periphery's first record. While I was listening to it, I noticed there are a lot of riffs like that, where the riff sort of passes back and forth between like a low anchor note and something higher. In Zyglorox, it's like shredding in between. It's like crazy tapping stuff, but like there's a rhythm underneath, and then there's just stuff in between. And I love that. Like if you listen to Zyglorox and just listen to the low open A string, like the it hits so hard. I strongly recommend going back and listening to that song, just paying attention to the open string. What MIDI controller do you have right now? I'm looking up a smaller version of what you have. Right now, I have the Native Instruments A61, and I don't ever use the knobs. I never use any of the knobs. I programmed them to work with Omnisphere, and I still just never reach for them. And plus, they're like, I like having the keyboard in a desk drawer situation, and then it's just like the knobs are always covered up. I'm never using those. I just want keys in front of me. And I think I want it to be like have a smaller footprint too, so I'm not taking up so much of the desk. A61, yeah. I think the smallest one, last time I checked, the smallest one is the M Audio. Like it has the fewest bells and whistles. And I think that's the one I'm looking at. It's like what is it, like $100? It's not like it's I don't know, it's not like I could sell this, and probably not lose any money in the exchange, but still, I just want it to be just out of my way. Okay, so let's find a rhythm for this riff. Maybe there'll be a rhythm in this first riff I can take. Let me try copying this over and leaving the kick, and maybe that'll instruct what this rhythm will be. Yeah, and erase the snares, except for the end, because that might be a cool fill. This is the kind of thing that would be really easy to program and mess around that way. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll add some kind of low bass synth, and I'll use that to draw what the riff is going to be shaped like. Let's try it. If that didn't have any release, that's the sound. Like all these effects were off. I said no release. And no attack for that matter. So like... I'll just go note by note with this. Kind of got to be like that. So like a doom. Here, having the kick visible underneath it will also be nice. Okay, so like so like yeah, that's how we do it. Dun, dun. Is the M audio on the silver one? I'm not sure. I think it's just it just comes in black, but like the M audio key station 49 key is about 6.5 inches shorter than the one you have now. Perfectly respectable amount. Is that shorter? So like it's the whole unit is like less deep? Or are you saying like the keys are smaller? No, that wouldn't make sense. Shorter. Yeah, shorter how? Is it like shorter like this shorter or shorter like that shorter? Because honestly, either way, that's pretty sweet. That's space on my desk I would have back. I like the width. Yeah? Dude, I'm like I can play keys, but I don't need all of these keys. I'm like this keyboard right in front of me is for just getting ideas out at whatever cost. It's not for I don't need like a full keyboard, you know. Yeah, like the horizontal space across. Okay, yeah. No, that's pretty significant. That's good. I might do that, man. Might do that. That might be the move. I have half a mind to get one of those Akai like 32 keys or something. Like the one Chris has. I'm like, why not? Why not? I'm basically I mean, I do play with two hands, but like when I'm putting parts down, I'm not really trying to perform like that. I don't know. I'm a guitarist first. So like I might actually put the in-between notes so I can hear it. This is sort of a weird sound for this, but I don't care. No. Da. Something like this. So like, and then here's Phil right here. There's Phil. Get him. Dogpile on Phil. How's the progress going? It's going great, Hopinski. Good to see you, dude. Figuring out some riffs, using a synth to write this part so I can sort of see it and then learn it. You know, kind of like this. I'm going to Guitar Hero this and see how well I can do it. What? Started recording? That was weird. You know what? I'm going to put the actual like pick strokes in the MIDI so I can see that too. Because that's starting to confuse me, dude. I feel like 32 keys would be a nice middle ground if you have 2.5 octaves to work with. I had a 25 key at one point and always found myself having to go up and down octaves to compensate. Yeah, 25 is like desert island bare minimum for sure. It's enough. If you're doing drums and you're like, honestly, I'm only ever playing cymbals or kick and snare at any given time. So, you know, that's like the smallest functional amount. 32 is probably a good. You'll feel more comfortable, I think, with a 32 in practice. That's for sure. No. So it'll. Let me try. One more time. This is tricky. I'm going to make the kick match up with this new synth part so I can hear it as I'm playing. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da. Dum, da-da-da-dum. Yeah, that's been confusing me every time I hear that. It's going to make this reflect the riff exactly. Worry about humanizing it later. And I'll have the last bar of this riff match the last bar of that first riff. So that it'll sound like a callback a little bit. What plugins do you run on drums since you don't fully route it out? I'm glad you asked. I'm using Martin and Massive 2. So I'm actually using Chris Badan's metalcore preset. And he does almost everything inside the plugin. He does a little bit extra by putting a copy of the snare and the kick on a separate pair of outputs, but that's just for triggering here. So here's like the plugin with a little extra bus action going on. And here alongside it are the kick and snare triggers. And those I chose myself. So there you have it. That's what I've got going on. You know, I actually want to talk about this one for a second. I want to talk about this plugin that I'm using on the drums bus. I'm using an upward compressor on the drums bus, and I'm kind of doing this in the spirit of 2010's Djent. I don't know if like upward compression was something they were doing, but dude, you can hear the release time of the bus compression. Like whenever the drums stop playing, you hear the noise floor just suddenly. So I did this to kind of emulate that. The way this works is that when the level of the drums bus drops below here, it will turn up the signal up to this limit here, which is 5 decibels. So I'm doing this to emulate the sound of the release that you hear on the drums bus in Periphery 1 and all the Bulb demos too. I'm just kind of giving it that same ridiculously compressed sound. I could probably do it more, and it would actually be more tasteful in this case. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. That sound. It's like too much. It's ridiculously compressed. It'll suit this demo nicely because the drums are going constantly. So by the end, you'll hear the noise floor come up and it'll just be like, holy shit, that was a lot. Okay. Now, let's get this straight. That's going to be the halftime part. Here. Okay, I'm going to put the fill at the end first. The guitar fill. That's sort of like a callback to the second riff. So like, I'm forgetting it, guys. Still kind of figuring it out. Not super certain how to do that fill at the end of that, but yeah. Come on, Phil. Please, Phil. Please. I need to figure out what drum plugin I want next, and currently I have One Kit Wonder Metal, and it's good, but the snare kind of sounds like caca. I haven't tried that kit. Man, Martin and Massive is killer. Dude, there are so many good drum kits now. If you want just like incredible sounds right out of the box, I'd probably reach for Odahome drums. That's the kit that I know a lot of people use it, but it kind of doesn't matter. Nobody cares. It sounds ridiculously good out of the box, and you don't have to route it out if you don't want to. I don't think you have to. I'm pretty sure I'm not in my preset. I'd have to check, but like Odahome drums is like a pretty, like I wouldn't go without it. But Modern and Massive, incredible mixing environment. Love that one. All-time favorite kit would probably be the Monarch kit, though. The Monarch kit from RS Drums is a Noops kit, and that's like a sound I've been wanting for years. When I got that kit, it just felt like an unlock. Strongly recommend using Monarch kit. Yeah, I'd probably choose between those three if you're in the market. I'll send you my rendered out kick to use as a sample. Dude, if you wanted to do that, I'll put it in. Shit, man. If you think it'll fit, I'm down. Are you thinking like adding it as like a trigger type of thing, like on top of it, or? Oh, I think you're saying that, Hopinski. I see. Lol. Do DI guitar quality matters? Yes. I saw Monarch on Nick's channel for the first time. Sounds pretty good. It's a great kit, dude. It is a great kit. I don't know that it has the same like wow factor as something like Odahome drums, but I would like, I don't know. I think of it this way. Kill Bang Mary, Martin and Massive 2, Monarch drums, Odahome drums. I think I'd marry Monarch kit, bang Odahome drums, and I wouldn't want to kill Martin and Massive 2, but I love the other kits so much that that would be my choice. I'll put it that way. So I'd marry the Monarch kit. Does that make sense when I say that? You get me, right? I feel like you get me. Something like that. Marry Odahome, bang Monarch kit, and kill Martin Massive 2. I love you, Nolly. Don't hurt me. Yeah, no, I love you, Nolly. I was before Monarch kit. My go-to was the Matt Halpern kit, from like OG GGD. That's, dude. His drums are incredible. I don't want to kill you, Martin and Massive. I just set myself up to say that on the internet. Sorry. I love you. Oh. Where would you want that kick sample sent to? Me? Are you talking to me or Hubinski? My dude. Okay, if you want to here, DM me. If you have like a Dropbox link or something like that, DM me on Instagram. I'll either like you could send me the link or I'll like send you my email over Insta. Cuz I'm down to put a kick sample in. This is fun, dude. This is why I like streaming. I like moments like this. You live stream too? Yes. I recently started live streaming, and Weekend Riffs continues on Saturdays as a cut down to my live stream sessions. Just got done with my Drop B Dad Rock song. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Drop B Dad Rock. Big fan. If you want to hear it. Oh, dude, you know what'd be really cool? I don't know if I can actually make it to that this week. I was gonna say you should submit it to Community Jams. Chris Padan does a little listening party on Saturdays. That would be sick as heck. All right, I'm gonna try this fill with more run-in. I'll harmonize it between the two guitars. That's what I'll do. Here, like. That's what I'll do. I'll go like. That's the fill. I figured it out. I figured out the fill. Damn. That's hard to do. Easy. Ooh, that's it. That's the riff. Okay, finally figured it out. Let's go. We have scratch takes for every riff. And I think it'll just circle back at the end. And it'll come up with something later for this. Let's start working vertical now. Oh, all right. In Human Shimmer, I have your kick sample. I'm about to download it. Oh, we got a few kick samples. Which one do I choose, dude? Which one do I choose? Let's go. Put that in the sample folder, dude. All right, I'm going to drag these into logic. We got, ooh, that's mean. Jesus. Dude, those are some nasty kicks. What do you think? Trigger on top of this kick? That could be cool. I already have a trigger going, but these might work. One of these. Let me know what you recommend. First two have mastering chain, second two are without the mastering chain. Got it. I'll keep it with the mastering chain. God damn, dude. Okay. Yeah, that's mean. I know what I'll do. I'm going to throw that in alongside the triggers I have going. And that'll be cool. That's my snare trigger. Okay, browser. This is, I hope this doesn't turn into a rabbit hole. I'm going to make this quick, guys. Steven Slade drums, trigger 2. Oh, I'd have to make a TCI. Are you for real? No way. Okay, let's try. God, I do want this to work. Oh, I could load it in Modern and Massive, right? Can't you load? I think you can load your own one-shots. Maybe I'll do that. That might be the easiest. Oh my God, it goes to show how much I've used this one-shot. It's all in on this one. Yes! Yes, question mark. All right, we're learning today, folks. We're going to learn how to import a one-shot into Modern and Massive 2, because it's looking a little bit like I can't do that. You can. You can. Okay, sweet. Help. Because this all looks, I'll show you, I'll make sure this is in screen. It all looks like you just get this little list. At least with the new update. Damn! I don't think I'm updated. Okay, you know what? I'm going to bring it into trigger, and if that doesn't work, then... oh, it looks like it just works. Sick. There we go. That's nasty. Dude, it's next to Otahome drums. Okay, that one's too much. Maybe I'll use a different one. I'll use the one that doesn't have the huge tail. You know what? Maybe I'll go no mastering chain. Holy. Okay. Unlink. Make these match. Maybe I'll leave them linked, actually. That's so... That is insane, dude. Here, I'm also, honestly, I'm still getting good at like layering samples. So Shimmer, please help if you have wisdom to share on how to do this better. Like maybe I remove the direct Oda Home. Optic Kingfall. Sorry, I missed your chat from earlier. Do you double or quad track guitars? Dude, I almost always double track. I'm not a big fan of quad tracking 4 guitars with the same tone. If I'm quad tracking, it's almost always like 2 guitars left and right with one tone and one like job, and then another pair that serves a different role. So the idea just being to not clutter the sound stage. You know, there's a point if you're just tracking the same part over and over that it's going to sound like a choir of guitarists, you know, where you're not hearing as much definition from the individual pick strokes. And like everything, that's a choice. You know, it's up to you if you want that kind of sound. There's some riffs where that's definitely a vibe. Like the one from the last Thick Riff Thursday we did that was like we quad tracked at the end, and they were 2 different tones, but still it was like for the sake of making it sound ridiculously rich. And that's only possible. The thing we were aiming for is only really possible with like quad tracking. So yeah, we achieved that with quad tracking. So yeah, I tend to double track. Sometimes quad tracking's cool though. It's a vibe sometimes. Let's see. My wisdom, the sample does all the heavy lifting and the kick from the kit is just kind of used for the tone shaping. Okay. If you want that huge Mirar drum sound, not here. I don't think I do. Not in this riff. But in general, I would love that. Integrating diopser into the kick, snare, toms is the way to go. What is that? Oh, dude, put me on. Is that something that's going to help me? Is that going to help me sound like a fraction of how heavy the stuff you and Blake make sounds? Double or quad tracking, which you prefer? Double is the answer on that one. In general, double. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Quad tracking too much, yeah. Phase rotator, okay. Okay, I'm going to check that out. I'm going to look that up because, man, you've got some secrets, got some crazy tricks up your sleeve. Okay, I gotta get these rhythm guitars tracked. Let's get it. Oh, it's giving me 2 measures in. All right, let's get these rhythm guitars double tracked. I'm going to give myself a loop because this is going to take a couple tries to get it super tight. What's the tuning? This is drop A flat. This is the Lord's tuning. This is the periphery 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like the tuning they use the most. This is like the Tesseract. I don't know if it's the Tesseract tuning because they do kind of crazy stuff with the other strings, but this is super good for 2010s Djent. Basically, the reason our mixes sound like that. Oh well, shit, man! I would be surprised if I put one plugin on and it sounds as heavy as you guys get, but I'm definitely gonna try that. Great for emphasizing the string rattle. I love emphasizing the string rattle. Okay, mainly used for the sci-fi sound design. Yeah, I like that. That orbit culture tuning, can't go wrong with it. Mirar makes wet music. I think they do. I think they make wet music. It sounds drenched. No, actually won't. Fast click. That one was a keeper. No. Gotta do that. One more again. Keep messing it up right there. I'm just gonna punch that in. Excuse me. I said I'm just gonna punch that in. Cool. That'll do. Man, this riff has actually been stuck in my head for a while. I was using it like when I was making tones on the Quad Cortex for the first time, I was like, I just kept playing this and I hadn't actually fleshed it out or anything. So this is really satisfying. You ever have like a riff that's stuck in your head for a little bit that you know doesn't exist? And you're like, maybe you'll play it or you'll play like segments of it, but you haven't ever like recorded it or put it on a record. Send your link to the VST. Okay. Damn, dude. Thank you, Shimmer. I'm going to check that out. Every time I do that, it makes me want to quit guitar. Oh, no, dude. It's a good thing, though. Having a riff stuck in your head, you should use that, you know? Just try to put it down. Try to just put it in the computer. All right, what the hell is this riff? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do bass next. I'm going to do bass because that's going to make all of this really satisfying. Oh, let's go. I love this part. Get it? I am terrible at guitar. Who cares? Just have fun. Exactly. Exactly. Just have fun. Yes, I'm going to do it again, but that was fun. There we go. Now it sounds like a song. All right, bass processing, let's talk about it. I've got, first off, this guy, DI Fix, which is really nice. On the DI, there's the intensity knob. Oh, it's glitching out. Lol. Anyway, DI Fix, this intensity knob kind of adds some... It sounds almost like it's exciting the DI, like it's saturating a little bit or something. I like the sound of that. And I'm going into Dark Glass Ultimate right here. And this is doing most of the work, honestly. This guy. Got a compressor running on the front. Not doing any EQing, apparently. I didn't even touch it, just... And I've got a Pro Q going. This right here is a Pro Q preset called Djent Bass Punch and Cut. Love these cuts up here. Around what frequencies is that? That's around like 1500-ish and 35K, 3K, around there. Super cool, super tight. And compressor before the amp, yes. I'm compressing it, but I'm also still using the compressor to drive the dark glass. So it's here without it. You can hear it's driving the amp a little bit more. So I'm kind of just using it as like a slightly smarter gain knob or drive knob or whatever. Like a slightly cleaner gain knob. And I've also got double tap going just for some split compression. And then I've got CLA Mix Hub. Now this is a plugin that sometimes I'll throw it on and not touch the EQ section, not touch the compression, and I'll just use it as a fader. And I really like doing this because you can open up the bucket view and you can put a bunch of stuff here and just see it all in one place. And I love that. It feels like working with a console, and it kind of gives me freedom to just like leave these faders leave all these faders on the tracks, leave those at Unity, and just do all the leveling in here. Big fan of that. This plugin's kind of crazy. It's even a host. Like it's a plugin host only for Waves plugins, but still, that's pretty sweet. You can put like Q10 in there and have like a surgical EQ and a tone shape EQ. Love that. Big fan of that. Is double tap free? I don't think it's free. I got like I caved and got like the everything bundle from, oh my God, Submission Audio. I caved and got the everything bundle from Submission Audio when it was super cheap late last year, and it came with that. I don't think it's free though. I don't care because big knobs and flashy lights and big bass. Yes, that's the main reason that I pull this up. The big knobs, the flashy lights, the big bass. Dude, it's so stupid, but when I first opened this plugin, it was really exciting seeing such a big HD user interface just pop up in front of me. I was like, whoa. It's like a pedal type situation, so I thought it would be like this little, I don't know, not important, but big knobs, flashy lights. Like $30, maybe, yeah. The grunt switch is sweet. Love it. Great tool for real bass and for program bass. Fuck it. Is EQ after the amp sim? Yes, Pro Q is right after Dark Glass. I throw this on it. And it's just it's kind of a fuck you preset. It's kind of like a here's your fucking bass preset. You know? Let me toggle it. So good, dude. Love that. I think that's another one that Chris Badan put me on to. Dude, he's just the king. He's got all the little tips and tricks for producing metal. It's like, I don't even need a guitar. That brute force music production. Hell yeah, no rules. Okay, I think what I'm going to do since I'm holding a bass is I'm just going to track bass for this next riff and come back to guitar after, because I'm having so much fun. So it's just the second half that I mess up every time. I'll slide up to it from the fourth. That'll be cool. Give it a little dad bend vibrato. Whatever. I'll just focus on nailing the first half. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I just gotta put it on loop and hammer it into my brain. Do you process your MIDI bass similar to Real, or do you let the bass plugin do its thing? Man, I'm a little bit back and forth. Sometimes when I'm using program bass, I'll, like Djent bass, for example, I'll set it to grit, and then I'll use Dark Glass right after. So kind of like, I think of it like putting a drive pedal in front of Dark Glass, and I get some pretty cool sounds out of that. But sometimes I'll set it to DI and then just treat it like a DI. Like if I were to program bass for a section of this song, I'd pull up whichever bass matches this one the most in DI mode and then put it in front of the same thing. But yeah, in general, just for program bass, I tend to just kind of swap between those two. Is there a production reason you and a lot of other guitarists record their DI at such a low volume? Man, it just sort of the wrong. It's sort of a backwards question because the DI is quiet. So when you record your DI without boosting it at the preamp level, you're getting that's just how quiet DIs are. So, it's more like I'm making the choice to not drive my DI. I'm just getting the DI as clean as I can. I'm going to a radial DI box, and I'm just getting pure DI without turning it up. And I find a lot of plugins are actually tuned pretty well to the level that a DI comes in at. So I just I don't tend to mess with that. And if I do mess with it, I'd rather do it at the plugin stage. So I'm not printing a driven DI, short answer is for fidelity's sake and for posterity, just to have pure DI, and I can, if I really wanted to drive it, I'd do that afterwards in a plugin. Maybe mine is too loud and that's the reason I get some ugly stuff I don't want. Maybe having your say if you plug into a Scarlett or an Apollo or something, I believe you can always rely on having the gain all the way down as your optimal DI level. If you just turn the preamp gain down, it's not like a volume knob that'll zero out at a certain point. It's just preamp gain. You're not turning it up and down. It's how much do you want to turn it up? So if you turn it all the way down, you're just getting unity. So yeah, start there. That might be causing you, that might add some noise in. All right, I got to learn this. Maybe I'll pedal on that note. Okay. And then sneak underneath with the index finger Okay. The slide, man. I think that's it. So it's different from how I initially recorded it. How does it end, though? Okay, I got it. This is sick. Okay. It's official. I love this riff. It's official. I hate this riff. This riff actually confuses the shit out of me now. This turnaround part. Oh, what am I doing wrong? You know what? No drums for a second. The drums might actually be confusing me. Low latency mode. Yep. I'm going to leave that. I'll try it again to get it tighter, but I'm going to leave that and then figure out these drums because that's confusing. Okay. Yes, yes, that's it. And I might put like a cymbal choke here. That could go hard. This riff make me want to mosh in my room right now. Do it, dude. Mosh in your room. Right now. Do it. I'll put that. I'm going to do a kind of cool thing here that I hope works. I'm going to try putting a mini kick fill situation here. Damn. Phil's got it rough. Now it's kick fill. I don't want a kick fill. I'm sorry, Phil. Sorry for what I'm about to do. Kicks Phil. That's kind of sick. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's the riff now. What's this one now? This is slightly easier to play. Oh, it's just the same thing again. This is what I mean. It's slightly easier to play. Sick as fuck. Yes, dude. Yes. I like this. I'm going to try another take of that, though. Yes. Got it. That's the first half. I want to do that slide with the guitar. Tight. I love it. Sick. All right, I'll figure out these drums later because they need some love. Just make sure the fill sounds good. We're going to look after Phil. We had to kick Phil, and now we're just going to... He's learned his lesson now. We're going to look after Phil. Hey, man. Don't do that again. But we're going to look after you. Bass could probably be tighter in this section. Let me check the first take. Okay, that'll do. Let's get these double stack guitars. That's my bass tone on a guitar, dude. Here we go. Randall, my king. Lev? What's up, Lev? Good to see you, dude. Thanks for coming to hang. We're making prog metal that sounds like Periphery from the 2010s. Join me. Just messed up that last part. What did bass do? So. That's it. Okay. Just gotta repeat it. I'll just use the first half twice. But that's what I'm talking about. Let's go, dude. This, some of these. Boom. Hell yeah, Matt Halpern is a legend. He is a legend. Dude, I don't know if you ever saw those old videos of him playing on like a 2-piece kit, something stupid like that. Like just with like a kick, snare, one tom, and like a ride. The dude just rips. It's insane. Love Matt Halpern. I was using his library for years, man. The P3 kit. That thing is just nuts. He and Nolly together are just unstoppable, dude. Low latency. Goddamn. The turnaround always gets me. Tight. Almost tight. There were some parts where I really messed up, though. I'll keep the second half, I think. Let's just see how it sounds if I double track to that. P5 kit did me well for a good long while. The dude rips. P5 kit, I've heard great things about it. Man, I'm like, I have a weird bias against the kit just because I didn't like that record very much. Makes no sense. It's a drum kit, you know, it sounds sick. It doesn't matter if they fell off on that record. But man, I've heard Nick's demos using that kit, and I'm like, that's amazing. I gotta try it out, man. I just have so many kits right now where I'm like, I don't know what to do, man. I gotta get my money's worth here. Gotta make some crazy stuff. I got Oda Home drums going, and that I feel like I'm between that and the Monarch kit, man. I'm just like, I have so much to play with. Let's see. What is... I'm going to harmonize only on one side. That's going to sound so sick when I record it with low latency mode on. Let's go, dude. That's cool. That just brought it to life. Or maybe it doesn't harmonize on the last one. Could be cooler. Yep, that's cooler. That's sounding like a demo, dudes. On that listen through, the bus compression finally hit me. I'm like, that is... Like, I heard it, and my instincts were like, dude, this is overcompressed. And then I remembered, this is 2010's Djent we're talking about. Everything's overcompressed. It's kind of perfect. Like, in this spot where the drums stop, it sounds kind of like a P1 moment. You know, where it just, the noise floor just flies up towards your face and... All right, you know what time it is? Time for some some production guitars. We're going to do some like spacey layers. I'm going to do one. I'm going to use a library for one of these. Fans of the show will have seen me use this one before. Voyager guitar. I think I actually have like an octave strum preset. Yep, octave strums that have exactly the sound that I hear in my head from Periphery 1. Yep. That's the sound that's been just stuck in my head since age 14 or whatever. Quieter though. I might need to actually dial it back on the mix bus because that is pumping. And then just bring it back home at the end. Sick. Just going to adjust the tone on this so it fits a little bit better. I kind of want more presence. Less mids. Yeah, I don't need that. Bass is meaty. Stingray HH. Yes, sir. This is using this bass today. This guy's the Stingray Special HH. It's incredible. I love this bass. Anybody here play Music Man guitars? Because something about the feeling... excuse me, something about the feeling of the necks on acoustic guitars. I said the wrong word. Let me try that again. Something about the feeling on the necks of Music Man guitars just hits different. It's so nice, man. Especially like the raw tone. Man, when I was a kid, I felt that on the Mystic Dream Petrucci guitar. And I thought it was the Bird's Eye Maple for some reason. I thought that wood like felt different. And dude, it's all of them. I don't know what it is, but they just have nailed. That's like the best feeling neck. I like, it makes me want to be a bass player by choice. Makes me want to be a bass player by choice. That's so nice, man. Love that. Okay. Hold on one sec. So I think I want to reach for the quad cortex for the next layer. And I might use the same preset that Nick and I made on Thick Riff Thursday because I love it so much. Where is it? Maybe this one. Let me know if this is too loud, by the way. Here, I'll pull up Cortex Control. I'll share with the class. This right here. This is a preset you can find on my Cortex Cloud page, Miami Rain. And I think I'm going to use one of these scenes where it's like drowned out with a drive in front of it. Maybe. It's a lot. It'll fill the space for sure, but I don't know if it's the vibe for this song. Let me check the time on that reverb. Maybe I'll dial that back. Nick is goated, by the way. Been watching him for a long time. Hell yeah, he is. That's my boy. Dude, he's awesome. Man, it's really satisfying going from like friends to internet friends, because he and I were roommates in college, and like we had so many riffs in that apartment, dude. It's really cool to like actually jam and record stuff now that we're grown up. I don't even know what I want to hear right now. That's not really the vibe, I don't think. Delays. That's what this needs. This needs a delay. So instead of Miami Rain, I'm going to reach for the other preset we made called Team Yakub. It's Team Jacob. It's Team Jacob, guys. This right here. Let's take a look at our scenes, because there's one with a delay, like a lead. That's the kind of sound I want. Is it wide enough? I kind of want more stereo action. Gonna check the reverbs on this real quick. Should delay sync on, ping pong on. Doesn't sound like it's on. Oh, I hear it. Okay. I'll just turn the mix up on it. Half note triplet? I'm going to do quarters. Or dotted eighths. Maybe I'll really... That's the kind of stereo image I'm looking for. Just gonna jam on it for a little bit because I don't really know what I want. That's it. That's the kind of sound I want. It'll go nicely with the octave strums later. Let's try something. I don't know about the part. I like the sound. I don't know about the part yet, though. I'll try something from the start. I'll turn quad cortex down a little bit. Try that. Let's try that, but like way quieter. Not crazy about it, to be honest. Okay, I think I know the part. It's going to be one of those, like... Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to make it into a chord. It's going to sound like... Okay, this is the chord. Let's track it and see if I don't get tendinitis in the process. Looks like the crab head things from Half-Life. Bro. Low key. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. I do want to try it one more time because I'm not sure if it was in time. No, 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 no. That'll be it. Here, I'm turning down the quad cortex for you guys because I just realized it's hella loud. And this is like a layer, you know? So one thing about using hardware instead of plugins is you gotta wait for those delay tails. One more time. I'm doing like syncopated dut 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 dut. A setting to kill the tails when you stop playback. Oh. I think I remember seeing that. To the manual. Oh, Ableton. No, this is actually Logic. This is Logic Pro. The thing I'm talking about is like the tails that come from the quad cortex, like it being a separate piece of hardware. So I know what you're talking about. That is a setting you can do in Logic as well. I believe that just like kills everything when you hit stop. But no, I'm thinking of killing the tails on QC. But there may be a way to do that. I think there's a way you can send, I can't remember. I'll look in the settings again and you'll probably hear about it on the next RTFM. That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet if you could send, it's such a specific, like incredibly specific thing that if they just made it so the quad cortex received play stop information so that it could kill tails at the stop, that'd be pretty cool. Incredibly niche requests for the Neural DSP team. Cool. I like it. Put the other mix hub over here. Put these down here. Oh my God. There's no audio from QC till I'm recording. Fuck. Okay, that's a setting. That's my bad. That's an OBS thing. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize you weren't able to hear the quad cortex at all. Sorry about that, dudes. I don't think I can change it right now, but next time I'll have that fixed. Anyway, that was the last thing I wanted to add anyway. I think I'm just about ready to wrap this up, if y'all are cool with that. There's definitely some work to be done on these drums, so maybe I'll do like a once over on the MIDI, but I like these ideas a lot. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm gonna just tie up all the MIDI parts and then we'll call it. Yeah, like those could be accented. The dun 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 dun. Do I have a MIDI editor window open? Drag this up. Dun, 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 dun. Like this. Put a splash right here. That would go hard. I also gotta just lower some of these 127 velocities, man. That is not real. Not real right there. No one's playing like that. Could be kind of cool to do it again here with splash cymbals, like accent those hits. Like it's not super realistic, but fuck it. Ooh, I'll make this even simpler. So it's dun dun. Now it's time to make these kicks more human, because they are just gritty as fuck, dude. Okay. A little bit of that. All these. Boom. There. But they're inhuman. What's your favorite plugin, Shimmer? What's your favorite reverb plugin, Shimmer? What's your favorite like pitch? What's your favorite like long pitch shifty reverb, Shimmer? This is a stupid bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Shimmer. I don't know if you use it at all, but that's a cool reverb. Favorite reverb is Valhalla. Valhalla Supermassive. You'd think it would be Valhalla Shimmer. I definitely thought that, yeah. I judged the book by its cover. I'm sorry. Inhuman Supermassive doesn't have the same ring, though, so I get it. This is such a stupid bit. I've not purchased it yet because I haven't dedicated my wallet to that bit yet. Man, Valhalla Supermassive has so many great uses, dude. When it comes time, you'll probably end up choosing like Vintage Verb or Future Verb, maybe. But man, their plugins for the price are so good. I love the value that they offer. It's just been $50 per plugin since the dawn of time, and you never regret it. Such good stuff. They're pretty chill about licensing across devices. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure they're chill about that. Okay, I think this is going to sound human. I haven't hit play in a minute, though. Oh, it has to change cymbal there, for sure. Oh, that was on a choke by accident. Really? Yeah, my bad. Oh, maybe I'll switch to hi-hat for this slightly faster section. Maybe I'll switch to hi-hat for the double time section. Like this. Yeah, that could be cool. Like crash. China there. That's where China goes. China. And crash. Sounded a little weird there. Yeah, that's hard as shit. Tom. Does anyone else figure out drum fills like this? I always have to air drum them to figure it out, you know? I have to go like to kind of know what to do. I don't even play drums like that, you know? But man, just to figure it out intuitively, I always have to motion it just to figure out, make sure I'm like using the correct number of limbs. And we'll end it with like a cymbal choke. I've always wanted to set up one of those Rock Band drum kits to use as a MIDI controller. Dude, the E-kit is the way. If you have chops, it's the way. Being able to play parts like a drummer, that'd be pretty amazing. I don't have those chops, so I'd end up just like, I'd probably end up coming back to just playing it on the keys or drawing it. But man, if you're a drummer with chops, an E-kit is like a cheat code in modern production. I just realized that I ended the song on the wrong note. Now, since I just realized I ended the song on the wrong note, I'm going to find a djentier note. Now, the djentier note to play here would be... Oh, shit. Stand by. That's the note. That is probably the djentiest note. The G just behind the E flat. Oh, sorry, the A flat. The G just behind an A flat on a drop A flat guitar is probably the djentiest note that exists. Here. It'll be kind of weird because I haven't played it yet, but who cares? It just sounds djentier. Absolutely. Yes, please. I almost want this to ring out with that note as well. What if that note is there both times around? So like this. I think it has to go to the root and then for like a second, go a half step lower. Like that. Only the second time. And it starts later. Could be a vibe. I think that's it, folks. Just adding one little MIDI note to choke the hi-hat at the very end. I think I've already changed my mind about that note. This is how you know it's like getting late in the day. I'm starting to lose my perspective and second guess decisions and all that. Yes, that's what I want. Just gonna put a real quick fade out at the end of this so I can bounce it, and we will give this a listen, folks. Cool. All right. Let's go. Let's give this a listen, guys. straight out of 2010. It's a vibe. I don't know how faithful it is to like a lot of the songs from that era, but the decisions here in the mix, I definitely feel were true to that. You know, like the choice to overcompress everything and the just chewiest tone I've ever heard. The just, that's as chewy as it gets. Yeah, this is sick. Big fan. Banger alert. Luby, what's up, dude? You showed up just at the end. How's it going? Did you get to hear the song? Man, we got to catch up. It's been a minute. Damn, really at the end? Yeah, man, I started really late today. Typically, I start around closer to midday. And the goal is to consistently have Wednesday at 11 a.m. be stream time. But every single time, man, getting set up has like bitten me in the ass. So I've had to do today. I was fighting with stream elements to chat on the screen. And basically every time I'm setting up, I'm like, fuck, and I messed something up. But anyway, yeah, dude. Yeah, shit was bouncy. Thank you, dude. Thank you, Luby. It's good to see your name in chat, man. Let's get a phone call in the book soon. Let's hang. Yeah, I'm stoked with how this came out. Super inspired by Periphery 1. I was listening to that record last night, just going through all their older stuff. Periphery 1, Bulb demos. The Icarus EP has some seriously underrated songs. I just wanted to channel that today, and I think I did. I think I did it some justice. I like what I made. This is pretty cool. Man, when he first added bass, it entirely shifted the feel of the song in an awesomeness way. Thank you, Hopinski. I feel it every time, dude. Adding bass is the moment where you're like, fuck yeah, that's a riff. Let's do a quick with and without bass. Hold on, here's without bass. With. Bass. I think it's spot on. Thank you, Shimmer. My favorite part of Lore Weaver writing sessions is when Blake says, dude, we haven't even added bass yet. Oh, that's the shit. It's the best, dude. When you're just like, oh, it sounds ridiculous and there's not even bass in yet. The best feeling, man. Hell yeah, it's so funny. Misha doesn't look the way that first Periphery record sounds. Misha doesn't like the way. I thought you said Misha doesn't look the way that first record sounds. And I was like, whoa, hadn't thought about it like that. Hell yeah, it's funny that Misha doesn't like the way that first record sounds, but it's kind of the sound of the times. Agreed. It's incredibly overcompressed and it's breaking rules and it's doing things that like it probably shouldn't have, but that is why it stuck out the way it did, I think. You know? I don't know. I know his feelings about it are from the inside of the project, and I know that he also like agonized over that record. So I'm sure that he's just like, fuck that entire experience. And that's kind of what you should do in that situation, you know, when you're finished with a project, to put it behind you and to just look forward. But yeah, I don't know, man. Those Periphery 1 songs, the Icarus EP, Frack the Gods was the first song. I remember that being the first song that had scream vocals. I was so young at the time. I hadn't really gotten into metal like that. It was the first song that I heard scream vocals on where I was like, I want that. I want more of that. What is this? And the tone, the riffs, it's just so good, dude. Yeah, I kind of prefer the over compressed sound, I think, for that era. Hell yeah, another Periphery fanboy. Yeah, man. Periphery fanboy who hasn't listened to the old stuff in a long time. And I didn't really fuck with the past 2 albums that much. I didn't have them on heavy rotation, but they didn't grip me the way that like any of their other ones did. I was focusing on other shit, but anyway, yes, Periphery fanboy, dude. Love. They've added Letter Experiment back into their set list. Yo, imagine being in a crowd full of Periphery super fans in 2026 and Letter Experiment plays. Holy shit. Like, Periphery fans love Periphery. And I don't think we've gotten much P1 in their sets. Yeah, that would go crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's the song today, guys. I'm about to wrap this up. My one goal in life is to let Jake Bowen know that I still have his old triple rectifier and it's alive and well. Oh, shit. Oh, dude, you bought a triple rec off of him. Cool. They played it in 23 in Chicago and I lost my mind. That would have been so sick. I would love to see Periphery play old stuff live now. I would hope that they get the message. We liked it better when you guys were trying new stuff for real. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit. I like the Pale White Dot. That was really cool. And I like that he was actually like changing up the hardware that he's using to make songs, you know? It's clear that he's chasing something new. Yeah, man, he was selling it to buy his first Axe Effects. Whoa! Dude, you afforded Jake Bowen his first Axe Effects. Nice. I bought a baritone just to learn all the songs. Yeah, dude. That record sounds like it's so fun. I'm backpedaling a little bit on my hate now. I'm like, oh, they were sick. And I did like Pale White Dot. I gotta listen to it more too to like properly enjoy it. Take it all in. There's a lot of good stuff in there, man. Oh man, I'm tired. I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. I'm gonna play it one more time. Pretty tight. That's pretty sick, dude. I didn't even add any effects or like impacts or anything. That was just the bus compression and the drums getting along. All right. This kicks ass. Found you from Nick Broom's videos. Had to sub. Thank you. Dude, thank you so much, Sun Chaser. Welcome to the channel. Okay. I think I gotta call it now. That turned out so good. Thank you, Shimmer. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, I'm gonna say the stuff now. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm gonna be doing this every week, so please subscribe. Click on the bell. That way you'll get a notification of every time I go on live, and that's me saying, let's hang out. You should do that. Also, on Saturday, I'm going to be uploading cut downs of the. On Saturday, I'm going to be uploading cut downs of the stream in like a Thick Riff Thursday type format. If you haven't seen already, I have a show called Weekend Riffs. And I also have another show that I'm working on called RTFM, which stands for Read the Fucking Manual, where I talk about the tools we use to make music and how they can inspire music. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would love to see you there. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Good night, guys.